What's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review. And we are on the last of our Gundam universe figures, at least for now, until I somehow find more. But either way, and yes, this is yet another Ross find from JJ, so huge thanks to JJ again. He is a supporter of the channel and a very good friend, and this is one of those finds that he just said, "Hey Finch, I heard you were into this, and would you like to take a look at it?" I'm like, hell yes. So here we're going to take a look at the Gundam Universe GU16 Exia, and it is a very bittersweet Gundam review today, as this is, well, at least in the United States, the day after the Gundam base at Yokohama, or rather the Gundam factory, excuse me, at Yokohama has been decommissioned. So I got to see it. I'm very glad I did, and if you did too, definitely, hey, tell me your story in the comments if you actually made it to Yokohama in Japan to see the Gundam factory. I am definitely down to hear it, and especially if you were there for the finale last night or a few nights ago in Japan. By all means, feel free to share that experience in the comments. So definitely, if you haven't been there, it was an exhibit worth seeing, and really happy I could enjoy it. But nevertheless, the review will go on, and let's get a good look at the Exia. And first, we're going to take a good look at the box. So of course, we have a very nice shot of the Exia right there, having its big sword out there. And oddly enough, a quick segue, I did just actually watch Gundam 00 a few months ago, and it started out a bit slow, but I loved the crap out of it. I thought it was a very well done series. A nice picture of the Gundam Exia right up there, the Gundam Universe Gundam Exia GN001, and they got the Gundam 00 insignia right up there, GU16 by Bandai, and then of course you have Gundam Exia on the side. You have some nice shots, very nice animation of the Gundam Exia right there, all the little things that it can do, a little shot up there, and then of course you have the Gundam Heavy Arms and the Freedom Gundam of there, two more in the set. Then of course you can scan for a Gundam info scan right there, and then of course on the side you have a shot of the Gundam Exia, and on the bottom you have a nice close-up of the Gundam Exia. Look at that face. Sorry for the glare, by the way. And that's pretty much it for the box. We'll take a quick look at the instructions, and they look pretty straightforward. Lots of accessories with this guy. One of its strong suits, GN001 Gundam Exia, and I do like warning sharp, let's see, warning delicate, so lots of warnings, and again, instruction man. I always love how they kind of make this seem like a mobile suit, and of course, I can't understand most of these, as a lot of it is in Japanese, and that is pretty much it. One sheet of instructions, and that's it for the opening features. So let's get a good look at the Exia, and straight away, again, one of the big pros of this figure is the coloration. Again, I love the coloration of all these Gundam figures. I really like how well done it is. It seems to be a combination of mostly colored plastic, but some of it is painted. Looks like the orb in the center is painted very nice green. It looks really, really good. Same thing for his little green areas on his head. They look really good. Again, just it's overall a really nice head sculpt. Got the nice kind of a sky blue for the eyes. That looks good. And you got like kind of the yellow detailing right along here. Again, moving down. Again, nice shade of red on the crotchal area. Not sure if that might be painted there. It looks a bit painted, I believe. So then, of course, you got the red in here. And then, again, you got more green paint on the legs. Looks really, really good. They had a little bit of gray on this one. A little bit of gray mixed in. This is one of the few Gundams that we've looked at that has a little bit of a different color palette on the legs. It does look really, really good. You got the molded detail in there, and then of course you move on to the feet. You got the red on the feet, and if we go to the back, oh yeah, more little orbs on the arm. You got some nice molded detail in there as well. And then of course, if we come to the back, you of course have some detail. You got the GN drive done, why you can see the little blades on the back there. It is detachable, by the way. You can eject the GN drive if you so desire. It comes attached, of course, but you can eject it if you so desire, if that's kind of the look you're going for, because you know they could do that in the series. So there we go for that. And if we go on to his articulation, the head can look up just a bit. It can look down quite a bit, and it can rotate all the way around if you so desire. Real quick, the shoulder pads are on a ball joint. They can move just a little bit all the way up and down, and you can move the arm all the way around on a hinge. You can move it out to the side. You do have a bicep swivel that moves relatively freely, and you do have a double jointed elbow that gets you a nice same thing with the other Gundams. He does have kind of that chest curl or whatever. You get a little bit of a crunch, and then you can go a little bit side to side. That kind of acts as the waist swivel of sorts. Move the arms out of the way, and then of course you can move these pads. They move up on this hinge, and this one's a bit more difficult to move. You can move it up, and you can kind of get a fusion kick most of the way. You can get a fusion back kick if you just angle it out a little bit, and you can get out to the side just as well. So there we go for that. And then of course you do the knee. He does have a double jointed knee, but that's about all it gets you. And then of course he gets you some toe tilt down quite a ways. He gets you a little bit of ankle tilt, and he gets you a nice side to side. So overall, relatively solid articulation. Of course, where this thing starts coming out of source is the accessories, which I'm going to talk about next. I'm going to talk about why. So let's get into it. So we'll talk about his accessories, and he does come with quite a few that is both a blessing and a curse. So real quick, I don't want to state these fins on his back. They are all separate pieces that are packaged separately. You just they're pretty much a press fit onto his back, but they do come off quite as easily. In fact, if you lay them down at all, these tend to pop off quite a bit. It is quite annoying, which as you're going to see, as we start putting more sharp things on him, which he comes with a lot of, they tend to all kind of collide back here, but we'll get into it. The wrists, which incidentally are on a ball joint, forgot to do that in articulation, they do come off, and you do get a replacement pair of hands, as you do with all the Gundams that are able to hold things, and we want him to hold things, so we're going to switch these out on each hand real quick just to get him to be able to hold a few more of his accessories. There we go. And what we can do is we can actually bring in, he comes with his swords, both his short sword and his long sword, and you could do a few things with these, and these both act the same. You can actually take the sword off the hilt and have just the hilt, or you can put the sword on, and he can also hold each sword. You just put it in the hand just like that, and he'll hold that just nice and firmly just like that. Or if you want, you can actually store these a la like he did in the show, and he has this little indent right here, and what you can do is you can just kind of put these on his little side holes. These come installed, but FYI, the further you move these out, these do like to pop. Oh, yeah, pieces of them pop off. That's the theme with this. Yeah, see, he's just kind of falling apart right in front. So that's the theme of this bot right here. Is the more you put on, the more stuff likes to fall off. So again, you could holster the swords. We can kind of get his swords on him just like that. So you could have him holding both swords, or you can put them in the holster, which is a real. I will say, for show accuracy, is a really nice. Oh, Jesus Christ, we're just gonna leave it. But either way, or he does come also with his big blade and his hand gun right here, and it is attached to his shield. You can see this is done in a very nice white and blue. Looks really, really good, and kind of the sword done in a nice way. Got a little bit of molded detail in there, and the sword does extend out just like that. So you have his sword on one end, you have his gun right here. You can see the little barrel, the small tiny barrel for his little handgun. And what you can do is you can just, this is kind of a difficult, and yes, pieces are falling off as we get deeper into this guy, but he can actually extend out and hold that just nicely. Bring his gun back here, and he can hold out his gun, or he can fling out the blade and hold that up. Now, one issue that I have been noticing with this is he does tend this blade tends to be a bit too heavy for the arm. It seems to be doing okay now during the review, which is oddly enough, because it's trying to make a liar out of me. But it does tend to weigh the arm down, but it seems to be doing fine for now. But I have just noticed that the elbow joint is not strong enough to hold it up, so that can be an issue. But he does look very good with it, so I will give it that. And then, of course, lastly but not least, he does come with his little U-joint, which goes with the flight stand, sold separately, unfortunately. And you can just plug that into his gentleman's there. You could probably leave this plugged in, and it won't hurt anything. I leave it plugged in on all my figures just like that, and it's very out of sight, out of mind, so he doesn't see it. And yeah, again, it's just very kind of difficult. You really got to kind of position this sword in his little groove on the arm right here to really get him to hold it straight, because it does kind of flip out of alignment. But that is going to be pretty much it for his accessories, and from that standpoint, he does come with quite a few of them. Unfortunately, they all kind of get jumbled on the backside. And for a couple quick comparisons, let's just bring in the other two Gundam Universe figures I have. They're the Shenlong and the RX-78 from our previous two reviews, and you can kind of see how he looks. And he fits the relative height profile, sliding in at just a little bit taller than the RX-78 and just a little bit skinnier than the Shenlong Gundam. But there you go for your comparison. So let's summarize on the Gundam Universe GU16 Gundam Exia. And yeah, I mean, the coloration is really good on this guy. I think all the colors pops as they do with all of the rest of the Gundams in this line so far. I also do think he has a decent amount of articulation for the price point, and he does come with quite a few very cool accessories. The problem is that they all tend to collide with one another because they're all really sharp and long, and they just kind of pop off and anytime you try to get somewhat of a decent pose out of him, which makes posing very difficult. Additionally, I wish he held his primary weapon a bit better. I mean, it's a big damn sword. It's a very cool blade. I just wish he held it a bit better. It's very hard to get a cool pose out of this guy, and that unfortunately is a very big detriment to the figure. So if you can find it at the Ross price point, definitely, yeah, pick it up, especially if you like the Gundam Exia. But as far as all of the Gundams I have, this is the weakest entry of the set, which is unfortunate, as I do very much like this mobile suit, and it may end up pushing me to cave for a model kit in the end anyway, which again, if you're looking for this to substitute for a model kit, this is definitely not. But if you don't have the time or the talents like I don't, then definitely it is worth the reduced Ross price point. Anyway, that's going to conclude this review. So if you found this review fun and informative, let me know by hitting that like button down below. I do greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are a fan of sci-fi stuff, namely Transformers and Eagle Moss Star Trek, and every once in a while we do some Gundam, consider subscribing to my channel. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much to the 500 plus of you that already are. And that being said, I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.